Hey everybody, welcome back to Office Hours with your host, me, Fr Stu, Wilson Smith of the Paulist Fathers here at the St. Thomas More Newman Center. We are the Catholic Campus Ministry for the Ohio State University. I hope that's clear. I try to make that clear in most of these videos. I don't always come through, but just for your information, there it is once again. Because we've had some special guests recently, which I hope you've enjoyed, and we're going to continue to do a lot more of that next year. I think we're going to keep plugging away with this thing, so there will be a next year. We're going to try to have a few more people on. I hope you enjoyed Max a couple weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. Well, from time to time, I'll still, check in and say hi, see what's been going on. Happy continued Easter, by the way. We're still in the Easter season liturgically. And so all the way till Pentecost, we got to continue celebrating. And I think I exhorted the viewers here some weeks ago to continue doing that by means of perhaps the banquet, the feast, not to only have the roast beef on the Sunday, but maybe also some parsnips. I hope that was helpful advice. Let me know if you've had some parsnips. Between then and now, I'd love to know if I inspired you in that way, because that's what this is all about. That's really the beauty of the priesthood, inspiring people to eat parsnips. In terms of my own life, what's been going on, I apologize first and foremost if I seem a little sleepy. I might be just slightly so. I think I just need to catch up on a little rest. What's been going on? I had my parents visiting for a little bit, so I was able to kind of show them around Columbus and go to all the hot spots: Schiller Park, Goodale Park, Antrim Lake, Bookloft, and Schmitz, all those kinds of places, and more. I would have liked to show them more of my fishing holes. When people come, I really like to show them where I fish. It's a real passion of mine, just so they can maybe get into some of the essence and what it would feel like to be me on my day off enjoying some fishing, but we did a bit of that, so we did the best we could. Anyway, I'm just catching up on a little rest, and hopefully I'll be rejuvenated next week. Now, more broadly, the students are in exams this week, so we've been praying fervently for them. If you're a student watching, we're still praying for you. I hope it goes well. And hotspots. That's right, hotspots with the parents. Got to show them, all the big things in Columbus. Oh, we went to Easton Town Center as well. I like that place. It's a sort of shopping area, an outdoor shopping area. It's where I go see my films, go see the movies. And that was good. But yeah, the students are still in exams, so we're still praying for you students. I hope it continues to go well, what can I say? Just, say a prayer, to stay centered, and maybe grab a cup of tea. Speaking of which, our tea of the month right now, I'm sorry I didn't do it too much this month. I'm keeping with the same as last month, which is this, I'm not going to pronounce the brand, again, just because I'm not sure about it. It's the T-A-Z-O, Tazo or Tazo. Anybody watching is welcome to correct me on my pronunciation of that. Well, you don't have to correct me because I didn't say it, I just spelt it. That's the safe way to go. Just like when you don't know how to say somebody's name or last name, you just say like in New Brunswick where I come from, it's much easier. You just say, oh, buddy, what's going on, buddy? Who's buddy over there? It's just much easier. So anyway, it's passion. That's the kind of tea we're looking at. An exuberant, just to remind you, an exuberant herbal infusion of hibiscus, orange peel, rose hips, and passion fruit flavors. And that's what we have here. So it is delightful. Next tea of the month, if I got something lined up for you, it was a gift from a friend and community member here. And he gave me a Canadian-based essence tea, really. And oh boy, this is something else. Even when you open the bag, it's got like this mapley, beautiful. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Anyway, I'll talk about that more and expound upon it, maybe even theologically, when I drink it. All right, that'll be great. That'll be a lot of fun. So that's what's going on there. But so one thing I thought I'd talk about today is the now that I've told you what's going on in my life, just catch you up, because maybe that's a curiosity you had. Do you ever get to visit with family? And the answer is yes. My family came down. Isn't that nice? The parents came down, showed them the hot spots. One thing that comes up a lot, I guess it's maybe part of it's just this time of year. I think especially when you're a student and maybe the end of your academic career is coming, or at least your bachelor's, and you don't have anything quite lined up yet, or you're not sure what you want to be when you grow up, or or for whatever reason the door you're planning on opening is not open, or whatever the case may be. It's like, what do you do sort of in the interim? Or even if you find yourself between things and you're not sure if you're thinking of changing your major, or you're not sure what you're doing in college, you'll get advice from all kinds of people. So I hate to be just one more sort of advice giver, but instead to try to get at who are you? Because that's the big question is apart from this stuff that you're trying to do or want to do or looking to do, who are you? So big picture, realize that your identity is never going to be in the career you take. Fundamentally, your identity is in God. And spiritually, to try to get at the fact that you can pursue holiness, which is the call that all of us have. That's our call for each of us, is to be holy. And there are holy sandwich makers, and there are holy CEOs, I think, and there are everywhere, all kinds of jobs, holy janitors, there's holy hot dog vendors. I'm very food oriented. I know that's a common criticism I get, or at least an observation. This is true with my tweets too. They're all food oriented. Whatever it is you do, there's an opportunity to pursue holiness in that state in life and in that job that you have. If you're in sales, you have the ability to carry out that work with a sense of integrity, and with virtue, to be kind and generous to people, et cetera, if you catch my meaning. So it's broader picture, there's always an opportunity to be holy. Your identity is in God, you're in His house, you belong to Him, and your eternal destiny is to Him, not in the ladder of whatever corporation you belong to or company, and it's not that that's all bad, it's just to understand that that's not what your goodness comes from. So what do you do if you graduate and you're not sure of your next step? Well, let me tell you a little something about myself. I was also not entirely sure through much of those years of my life. Late teens, early 20s was a bit of a mess, because I think I had visions and dreams throughout my teen years where it's just it'll all work out. I'll somehow be like a Indiana Jones singer-songwriter, Catholic teacher type thing, and somehow that'll all work out. But instead I was kind of a bit directionless. And so one thing that helped me was travel. Now, you can't usually just get up and travel to a bunch of strange, exotic places. You have to save first. Well, that's cool. So what I usually say is if you can find a job, it doesn't have to be your career. If you can find a job, or maybe you already have one, work in it full time. And if you can, just save that money and have a short-term goal of what you're going to do with it. And I really think if you're not sure where your life is going, if you're looking for greater meaning and purpose, man, travel can really help that. At least it helped me to kind of see different parts of the world, to broaden your mind and see how other people live. And you learn to rely on yourself a lot more. You learn to kind of rely on God, and that relationship can get stronger because you're just taking away your whole context and letting yourself kind of do a trust fall in a certain sense, and just having some adventure. So for me, that was valuable. I even did that before I graduated. I did a year of university, and I went and lived in Ireland for a year. I traveled in South Africa. Later on, I went to East Africa and Tanzania, Kenya, and Rwanda. Just backpacking, just kind of seeing the world, experiencing new life and culture, and it was really valuable to me. So it's kind of a dual experience there. It's the experience of having a job that's not necessarily your career, but just working at it long enough to get them greenbacks, and then accomplishing your goal of, because during that time you can plan and you can decide what you want to do, and then actually doing it. And whether it's travel or it's volunteering or it's living in the woods, I don't know. It's allow yourself to do something crazy, because here's one of the bigger truths I want to get across. Your life may be non-linear, and that's okay. What do I mean by that? Your life may not have a straight line from elementary school, high school, college program, right into their internship, right into the job, you know, that you're going to have the rest of your life. For some people, that's fine, and that happens, and it works, and good for you. Other people, it's not going to be as linear, and you may have some real down points even in college where it's going to feel like, oh man, I failed at everything and nothing's working. Well, that may just be a blip, and that may just be part of the story of your life. And years later, you learn not to regret it. You know, I can say that from experience, that it's okay if you have some twists and turns and you do some things that maybe you never thought you were going to do. I promise you, you'll only end up all the richer for it. Again, it's just as long as you don't take your eyes off of that bigger goal, pursue holiness, and just understand that your identity is in God, and He's going to value you for how you live your life more generally and broadly, not necessarily for just what career you have. So there's a lot more to be said about that, but you know, in terms of using your talents and gifts, etc. But I think that's another chat. I think the main thing is I just want to make sure we all affirm our goodness. I want to affirm your goodness. You are good. You are God's. All right. I'll get off my soapbox now. As hard as that is to do. Goodness gracious. But that's what I'm doing this, I guess, right? Eh? All right. So it's been good hanging out with you. If you have any questions or things you want to see talked about or addressed, or special guest requests, maybe you know somebody you really like to see on the show here, and you know you want to see that happen. If it's somebody really a celebrity, it's probably not going to. But anyway, we've got an exciting few weeks coming up. I'm going to be doing a special office hours in May. Live from the Paulist ordinations. We have ordinations coming up of Deacon Michael Hennessy and Deacon Ryan Casey, my novice brother. Very proud of them both. And so I'm not going to skip broadcasting for that week. I'll just be somewhere in New York City, and we'll just touch base, maybe before and after or something. Anyway, enjoy hanging out with y'all. Yeah, good times. Ask me a question, whatever. It's all good. Grace and peace to you. Bye, friends.